Hello, everyone. I just wanted to come on. I do have a new drawing I just finished that I was going to share and talk about because it's pretty different. I've not seen anything like it before. But before I do share that, I was going to talk about um, that I have been not publicly telling anyone yet, but I started channeling myself recently, a few months ago. It's one of the reasons why I started doing a bunch of interviews with channelers is because I was trying to understand it better myself. Um, but I'll say this all started last September. I know I shared with my sister when we were sharing in one of our soul sisters talks that this witch had come in my room with a group of people and that I started using this green flame energy from my hands. And it's like I can see myself doing it, but I don't consciously know how I knew how to do it. It wasn't something I learned that I knew about. So I was a little confused about it. That was last September. After that, I had, and I know that I always am saying, let's not judge books by their covers and stuff like that. So sometimes I may take too long deciding if something is a friend or foe when it comes into my room. And I've had quite a few witch, sorcerer, wizard types coming around since September. And I didn't really know why or what they wanted or what they're trying to do. But one night, one came and, like, no joke, it looked like Jafar from Aladdin, the cartoon. I mean, he didn't look like a cartoon, but he had the turban and he had the skinny mustache, just like the cartoon guy did. And, I was looking at him and I was saying, are you a friend or are you a foe? And because I was just sort of waiting to decide if this person was there to help or hinder me, he took this big puff of a pipe and he blew smoke on me. And after that, it seemed like for some reason my ability to defend myself was gone. And, the solar flares were happening, and I was getting my butt handed to me, anyways, with the solar flares and all the other things that were going on. Do that. So it was sort of a really bad time to also now not be able to defend myself. Um, I I noticed then when my room was filling up with all these negative things that were coming for me, and my daughter was helping me at the time, like clear my room and stuff every night. I would text her and say, what's in my room? And she would just say, like, something really not good, and she would get rid of it. But these things were all like, they were from space. They were not earth things. Most of it. Some of it, of course, were these wizards and stuff. Um, which, I didn't even know what was a thing. I don't know if they're on the astral. They're like witches and wizards and spirit that are still doing something. I don't know what. So it was in the middle of all this that my room was being filled with all this negative stuff. My daughter was helping me and I was trying really hard to defend myself and struggling, that I saw Merlin helping me. And he was standing in my room. I mean, my eyes were open, but I'm sure I was seeing him with my third eye. And he had this wooden staff, tall wooden staff. He was wearing not a purple robe with a pointy hat and stars, but more like an outfit that looked more like burlap sack material, like really plain. Um, I don't know. It's not a dress. It's, I guess, a robe. Anyway, I saw him and he was helping me. So I had gone to dinner with Michael Shaman and his wife Doreen, and Michael said, Merlin is with you. And I was like, I don't know why. Michael said, well, he's impressed with some of the things you're doing. So, I get in to see Michael Shaman get fixed up from what the solar flares and what this sorcerer had done to me with this puff of smoke. And at the very end of the appointment, Michael said, "Is there anything else you would like to work on at this appointment?" And I said, "Well, because Michael had said, let me know that I had a life where I was learning magic from Merlin." And, you can think Merlin is a fictional character if you like. Um, but my daughter was one of his students. Michael Shaman was one of his students. And I discovered recently that so am I. And that is why I was using this green flames. So it's from the heart chakra. Um, and it's like green fire. It comes out of my hands that I see with my third eye, and it is how I clear my spaces now. So I said at the appointment, yes, I would like to make sure that the life I had where I was learning magic from Merlin is integrated into me, which I don't know if I've explained integrating, but when you have a past life, and you can ask if that timeline wants to integrate with you currently and help you out on this timeline. And I've done it a lot. Michael calls it soul braiding. But what happens when you do that and you sort of collect these fragments of yourself is you get the abilities that you had in that life. So if there's one where I was learning magic, then, yes, I want that piece. So, but what happened was he said, well, someone else has come forward that wants to work with you now. And it was Merlin. So Merlin, if with my permission, wanted to integrate with me, and I'll be learning from him. So I agreed to that. Of course, who's going to turn down like working with some magical master, right? Um, and so that happened at the last appointment in January. And I haven't really been public about it very much. I've been sort of learning and figuring it out on my own. I don't like, he doesn't talk through my mouth or anything at this point. And I'll tell you something kind of funny. The first day that I integrated him, I could feel my organs moving around in my body. And so sometimes when I don't feel something, I'll go, Merlin, are you still there? And one of my organs will move. So that's interesting. I also wasn't really sure that he actually existed. And I watched documentary about it and stuff, and they're like, oh, he's, legend, myth, whatever. But I asked him myself, if he incarnated, and I did hear yes. And the information I got was that he may have lived in 600 AD, around then or earlier. And he wasn't written about for like 1,000 years after that, maybe 600 to 1,000 years after that. So I think the first time he was written about, maybe that person was channeling, or, just the stories have come down orally and gotten finally written down. I'm not really sure. So that happened, and it's been a few months. I may begin speaking with him. I'm, like having him speak through my mouth. I may begin doing that. But at this point, I'm not. And Michael says that, he's waiting for my vibration to rise higher. But meanwhile, we have been doing some really great stuff that, I probably won't talk about because it's even like more stuff than people can believe, probably. But I'll tell you this though, I can see things like him and my subconscious are doing things together that, like, if I go to dinner and somebody says that they have a room in their house that's haunted that needs clearing, when I leave the restaurant and I'm driving home, I can see it's being cleared already by Merlin and my subconscious. I can even see like, oh, 3 reptilians just went in the light. Like I can see it. And so it's interesting. I have found that if I just relax into a light meditative state, which is about where you're at when you're driving your car, is where you can kind of let your subconscious come forward and do like better work than you can do consciously. So I'm learning. Another thing that I didn't know when about Merlin is that he has students still. And so when I'm in bed, I can see about 5 people that walk all night long around my bed. I don't know if they're like just waiting for us to fall asleep so that they can join Merlin on some adventure with my subconscious or what. Uh, or if they're protecting. I don't know. If they're protecting, they kind of aren't protecting that well because I still am doing a lot. So that was just something I haven't really said anything about publicly because I've been waiting to see like how this is gonna happen. Am I ever gonna be talking as Merlin or not? I don't know. But for now, the way I'm channeling him is with my hands. So that being said, I have some new artwork that I worked on, and this is it. So I connected to someone and their main guide. I was trying to connect to the main guide, but I got that this is actually her higher self. And at first, it looked like she was a mermaid because she was twirling and spinning, and it looked like she was swimming through water. But I realized that she isn't. She's in space. And she's a lot larger than us. Like if we are 5, 6 foot humans, she's like 18 foot. Like she's a lot bigger. And she's having the best time. Like really pretty, big blue eyes, big smile, like a total free, I don't know, spirit, I guess. But I was thinking that she is a celestial and she doesn't have clothes on, but she has rhinestones over her body. Um, so I just thought that was so interesting. She reminds me, and I don't know if you have seen Ponyo, but in the cartoon Ponyo, which is a Japanimation anime by Miyazaki, it's a story about this little fish girl, but the dad is human and the mom is this goddess of the sea. And for some reason, that kept popping into my head as I was thinking about this celestial being. Um, in the movie, in the cartoon, she is like, she's on the water surface and she's way bigger than the boat. Like this being is larger than life, larger than us anyways in our lives. And I don't know, I kind of got that she's kind of that creator energy, celestial. So I thought I would share. I've not seen one of those before. And I don't know, I've got like some more other stories, but I will save it for the next time. I already told a lot of stories. So I'll probably update next week with another drawing or another story from stuff that I'm experiencing. So I hope everyone has a great weekend and I will see you soon. Bye.